Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into a story that's equal parts fascinating, heartbreaking, and thought-provoking: the rise and fall of Marineland, Canada's once beloved marine park. But this isn't just about a theme park closing its doors, it's about the end of an era, the complexities of animal captivity, and the human stories behind it all. So, let's start with a question. What happens when the tide turns on a place that was once a symbol of family fun? First, let's set the scene. Marineland, nestled near Niagara Falls, was more than just a park, it was a childhood staple for millions. Personally, I think what makes this story so compelling is how it reflects our evolving relationship with animals. In the 1960s, when Marineland opened, seeing killer whales, dolphins, and belugas up close was magical. But fast forward to today, and the idea of keeping these creatures in captivity feels very different. What many people don't realize is that Marineland's decline wasn't just about changing public opinion, it was a perfect storm of financial troubles, legal battles, and animal welfare concerns. One thing that immediately stands out is the park's founder, John Holler. His story is wild: a Slovenian immigrant who went from working odd jobs to creating a marine empire. He started with 3 sea lions and a quarter admission fee, and by the 1970s, Marineland was a household name. Their jingle, "Everyone loves Marineland," was everywhere. But here's where it gets interesting. Holler's success was built on a time when animal captivity was barely questioned. If you take a step back and think about it, his story is a microcosm of how society's values can shift dramatically over decades. Now, let's talk about the belugas. Marineland had the world's largest pod of captive belugas, some with military backgrounds in Russia. These whales were trained for mine detection during the Cold War, and when the Soviet Union collapsed, they became surplus. Holler brought them to Canada, and for a while, they were stars. But by 2019, Canada passed the Free Willy Bill, banning whale and dolphin captivity. Marineland was grandfathered in, but the writing was on the wall. What this really suggests is that even when laws change, the moral complexities don't go away overnight. Here's where the story takes a dark turn: 20 whales died at Marineland since 2019. The park blames old age, stomach torsion, and the stress of separating males and females to comply with anti-breeding laws. But critics say it's more than that. Former workers spoke out about water quality issues, and in 2021, the province declared the animals in distress. This raises a deeper question: were these deaths a result of neglect, or were they unavoidable in a system that was already crumbling? Andrew Burns, the park's advisor, is a key figure here. He's not sentimental, but he's determined to rehome the remaining whales. The plan? Send them to aquariums in the US and Spain. What makes this really interesting is the controversy around it. Some see it as a rescue, while others, like trainer Taylor Lee Dell, argue the whales were already well cared for. In my opinion, this debate highlights a bigger issue: who gets to decide what's best for these animals? A detail I find fascinating is the logistics of moving these whales. It's like orchestrating an opera, as Burns puts it. Cranes, custom slings, specialized trucks, it's a massive operation. But here's the kicker: if the move doesn't happen, the whales will be euthanized. Marineland is running out of money, and time is ticking. This isn't just a story about animals, it's about the people who dedicated their lives to caring for them, now facing an impossible situation. Finally, let's talk about what comes next. Marineland's land will be sold, likely for development. The park's merchandise, worth $200,000, is going to orphanages in Serbia. And Canada will have no more captive whales or dolphins. From my perspective, this is a moment of reckoning. It forces us to ask, what do we owe these animals? And what does their future look like in a world that's finally questioning their captivity? So, here's my closing thought: Marineland's story isn't just about a park closing, it's about the end of an era. It challenges us to think critically about our relationship with wildlife and the consequences of our choices. What do you think? Is this a step forward, or is there more to the story? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives like this one.